Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
On the evening of July 26, 2021, Officer David Lance Dukes from the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety responded to a complaint about a man, Clarence Gailiard, banging on his neighbor's door.
Get on the ground right here! Get on the ground! You, burgundy shirt, get on the ground!
The caller, a woman, informed Officer David that Gailiard, a 58-year-old, was allegedly armed with a gun. Upon arrival, Officer David instructed Gailiard to lie on the floor, which he complied with.
On the ground! Get on the ground!
However, the officer proceeded to use excessive force by kicking Gailiard in the head, causing his head to strike the ground. After forcing Gailiard onto the ground and handcuffing him, Officer David searched for the reported gun, but found only a stick wrapped in shiny silver tape. Gailiard's attorney later explained that his client carried the stick for protection against stray dogs. Additional police officers arrived at the scene, and some of Gailiard's neighbors questioned the excessive use of force by Officer David.
Okay, what's your badge number?
1059.
Let me see if I can get my phone.
Hold on.
Which he attempted to suppress. After David helped the victim to stand, Gailiard began complaining about the head injury inflicted by the officer. Despite David managing to quiet Gailiard's neighbors, he couldn't deter his fellow police officers, who now regarded him with suspicion. Feeling cornered, David attempted to justify his actions by claiming Gailiard's lack of cooperation and expressing concern for his safety due to the report of Gailiard having a gun. However, a closer examination of the incident reveals a different story. When Mr. Gailiard emerged from behind his car, he had his hands raised in the air, contradicting David's statements.
Y'all bust my head down. Yeah, I've been in an accident. Yeah, y'all bust my head down. You threw me down.
I sure did. You wasn't listening.
Yeah. No, it ain't. You ain't to throw me down like that. I'm disability.
Okay.
Moreover, David kicked Gailiard when he was already on his hands and knees, which seemed unnecessary as Gailiard did not pose a threat. Gailiard was eventually uncuffed and received medical attention, but Officer David displayed no remorse. When Gailiard's cousin, Julian, requested David's business card, David falsely claimed they didn't have any. This was one of David's many falsehoods regarding the incident. However, Sergeant Polliter promptly corrected him, confirming the availability of business cards. Following a brief investigation, Gailiard and his cousin, Julian, were released. Subsequently, Gailiard filed a lawsuit against Officer David Lance Dukes, alleging that the officer attacked and assaulted him despite his immediate compliance with David's commands once his medical condition allowed. Officer David was arrested and charged with first-degree assault and battery, a 10-year felony in South Carolina.
Put your hands behind your back. Is there a gun back?
He was also terminated from his position. Despite his attempts to justify his actions throughout the incident, his fellow police officers did not support his behavior or attempt to conceal his misconduct.
Hold on. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Moving on to the next case, our second law enforcement officer is a chief deputy who not only violated the law.
So you're a deputy? I'm the chief deputy. You're the chief? Okay.
But also sought to exploit his position to evade consequences. He repeatedly asked for leniency, but Trooper Valentine declined.
Saying that, but I mean, you know, we can't be out driving if we've been drinking.
Highlighting the dashcam recording. What might have happened without that recording, we can only imagine. Trooper Valentine gave Dunn two choices: a field sobriety test or arrest. Dunn chose arrest, though he disliked being handcuffed, something he'd do to a civilian.
How much have you had? You don't know? You don't remember?
Despite Dunn's reminders of his law enforcement status, Trooper Valentine stayed resolute. After some encouragement, Dunn was charged with DUI and refusal to take a breath test. Now on to our third case, Sheriff James Lujan, who abused his power to hinder an investigation and protect a murder suspect. While city police were attempting to remove Cashon, Rio Arriba County Sheriff James Lujan arrived at the scene.
But no, just stay here. No, I can't have you enter the scene.
guys are fucked up, man.
Instead of assisting in the arrest, Lujan requested that the officers leave Shakan alone. When the on-duty cop declined this unreasonable request, Lujan didn't take it well. He even identified himself as the sheriff in a phone call.
Bring who in?
Phil Chacon? That's who you have a warrant for?
Right.
Pull everybody out. I'll bring him in. Huh?
I want to pull them back.
Excuse me? I'm not asking. I'm telling you. I will bring him in. Okay?
Despite the sheriff's repeated demands for the police officers to back off, they resisted. To make matters worse, the on-duty officer detected the smell of alcohol on Lujan's breath. Concerned about the drunk sheriff causing further issues, the officer called the Espanola Police Department for assistance. While at the scene, Sheriff Lujan communicated with the suspect through his phone, but failed to interrupt Kashan's arrest, as the suspect surrendered later. The Espanola Police Department filed charges against the sheriff and obtained search warrants for both his county-issued work cell phone and personal phone. Validity of the warrants, and insisted on speaking to his lawyer, even though challenging a search warrant during its execution is typically done in court, not on the spot. Surprisingly, the Espanola officers allowed the sheriff. Upon arrival at the Rio Arriba Sheriff's Office, the city police faced resistance from Lujan and his colleagues. Eventually, they complied with a search warrant obtained by 9th Judicial District Attorney Andrea Reeb. Lujan was handcuffed in his office and transported to the Los Alamos County Jail. He faced charges of resisting and obstructing an officer, a felony. Tensions between Espanola City councilors and the sheriff's office escalated after Lujan's arrest. State Attorney General Hector Belderez emphasized that no one is above the law, stressing the importance of law enforcement officials working together to ensure justice and due process for all New Mexicans. Internal conflicts among law enforcement officers don't contribute to a more just system.